As a countryman myself, I never trusted politicians until I played Deadlock.
Deadlock has inspired me to become an active participant within our democracy.
Let me set the scene. It's January of 2018, and following a drunken night of debauchery amongst the Coalition caucus, Barnaby Joyce awakens cold and hungover somewhere in Tasmania, with a tattered letter from Malcolm Turnbull at the bottom of his R.M. Williams boot.
Deadlock!
Following your behaviour last night, the Coalition has split and the National Party have disbanded. And give me back my whippersnipper. It's been 6 months. Regards, Malcolm. Poor Barney. Life's hard when you're a Cooper can hardly fit through the doors of Parliament House, and now you're out of a job. But all is well in love and politics, and now the great powers of Australia will decide our future in a double dissolution election. On a cold and rainy night in a back corner lounge at Mooseheads, under the shadow of Parliament House, Nick Xenophon, Pauline Hanson, Richard Di Natale, Malcolm Turnbull and Bill Shorten agree to throw caution and the democratic process to the wind and decide our fate on the board of Deadlock. You, as a politically engaged citizen, must battle the variables of chance, voter preferences and the trappings of each state and territory to win a majority for your party of choice. The rules are simple. A 48-minute time limit and a race to a majority. Whoever wins the board wins the parliament. And a signed slab of two is new, courtesy of a recently unemployed Barnaby Joyce. Roll the dice, choose your path to victory wisely, and remember, the fate of a nation lies in your hands. There is a minimum of 2 players and a maximum of 5. Each player starts with 20 followers. To start, all players roll both dice. Whoever gets the highest number begins, and the rest follow in a clockwise direction. The currency used to purchase electorate seats in Deadlock is online followers. The use of these followers as a currency is an interpretation of the influence a political party's online presence can have upon an election. Gaining a strong online presence is an important part of any modern-day election, and the civic engagement of politically active youth is entirely dependent upon the effectiveness of a party's online platform. The aim is simple. You must move your party around the board as many times as you can, using a combination of strategy and luck to win yourself as many seats as possible. Whoever has the most seats when the time runs out is the winner. If you pass through the start station once, collect 20 followers. If you pass through a second time, collect 30, and so on. In each state or territory, there are 4 seat squares. If you land on one, you must decide whether you want to buy that seat outright with 15 followers, whether you want to spend 5 followers for your choice to roll the number you need to win the seat, or whether you will save your followers to spend on a seat which you are more likely to win. Each Australian state and territory favours a particular party. In the state which favours your party, if you land on a seat square and decide to spend 5 followers for a roll, you must roll between 1 and 8 in order to win that seat. However, the state of New South Wales is anyone's game. Rolling above a value of 6 will win you any seat in the state, regardless of party preference. This is used to reflect the fact that New South Wales holds more federal electorates than any other state or territory in the country. If you are not in the state which favours you and decide to spend 5 followers for a roll, you must roll between 9 and 12. If you manage to obtain all the seats in the area which favours your party, you earn 60 followers. These rules, however, do not apply to the seats of New South Wales. You cannot buy the golden seat square. You don't need to spend followers either. The only way to win a golden seat is to land on it and roll a 12. If you win the golden seat in your area, anyone who lands on that square must roll between 1 and 6. If they fail, they put one of their seats back on the board. If you land on a star square, take a chance card and follow its instructions. Some will benefit and some will damage your progress, so watch out. To simulate the magic of politics, if a player lands on a 1 square, they immediately gain 5 followers. If you land on a gold and silver square, take a card from the top of the pile. Golden cards allow you to send any player to Richmond Jail in Tasmania for 1 round of the game, to be used at any time. Silver cards give you the opportunity to freeze all other players for 1 minute at any point in the game, while you roll as many times as you possibly can, winning as many seats as you can along the way. trivia squares. These squares on the board are labelled with a question mark. Each question is relevant to Australian politics and the history of civic engagement in Australia. When a player lands upon a trivia square, a random question is taken from the pile of face-down trivia cards. If the player answers the question correctly, they gain 5 followers. But if they answer the question incorrectly, they lose 5 followers. So tell me, do you guys like the game? Ha 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 ha. Nodding in agreement.
Deadlock!